Sentinel Event Review is a concept that actually originated in aviation and has been brought over to healthcare. And it's a process for bringing together the participants in a really significant unwanted outcome. So you could think of the Challenger explosion, or a plane crash, or in criminal justice, an officer-involved shooting or a wrongful conviction. And the process has evolved to take a non-blaming approach, in other words, to assume that nobody wanted that bad outcome to happen, to gather the participants who were involved in that unwanted outcome, and to learn from them what the domino of contributing factors were that led to that unwanted outcome, and then interfere with those, prevent those contributing factors from happening again, so that we can prevent the undesired outcome going forward. The Quattrone Center has taken the principles of Sentinel Event Review from healthcare and aviation, and we're applying them in criminal justice with the belief, and I think what we're showing is that we can use those to reduce the occurrence of officer-involved shootings, deaths in custodies, wrongful convictions over time.
So I had come from the Tucson Police Department, and Professor John Hallway had worked with the Tucson Police Department doing a first of its kind down there Sentinel Event Review process for some in-custody deaths. So I was connected with Professor Hallway, and that began an over 2 years endeavor between Professor Hallway and the Quattrone Center and my office, the Office of Inspector General, to do a really comprehensive breakdown of what happened during the protests, try to get to root causes, and help the Seattle Police Department come up with different innovative ways to think about First Amendment activity and responding to protests in the future, so that we could ensure that Seattle community members could come out, express anger, protest against the government, but do it in a way where they're protected and where everybody was safer.
I didn't really have any expectations. I was just curious about what would happen. I think the fact that it was done by the City of Seattle, that it was bringing together all these different types of people, including people at all different ranks in the SPD, in the Seattle Police Department, along with community members. The fact that it was bringing together such diversity of backgrounds, experience, time in the city, lived experience of all different natures, that was just very interesting to me. So I didn't really have expectations, and I think the SCR did a good job making the most of all that diversity.
I just thought, in my relationship in that year, they made coming to the meetings easy to be there and understand and comprehend the literature, the research, and the why, which is very important, the why of why we're doing all these things. So when you look at that, it was easy to build a positive relationship with John and the team.
I think that the facilitation of all of the meetings that we had was a key to the success. Bringing these large groups of people together who sometimes had what may have been considered competing interests or competing priorities. We couldn't have done that without successful facilitation. And I think especially around these topics, you're talking about very emotionally charged topics and very, very sensitive topics. So having the forethought, doing the research was super important to be able to bring these groups together in a meaningful way.
I absolutely believe that the Sentinel Event Review process helped the Madison Police Department make good change and change that's sustainable. I think a lot of us in the room have been part of conversations before, reporting processes before, where it felt like we all met and we wrote something very nice, and that was it. I think what's special about this process is that it invites continued conversation. And also I think that MPD just took it a step further by inviting everyone back and wanting to continue that conversation forward, and to continue to invite feedback from the community about what they can do better.
The Quattrone Center is probably the most experienced group in the country in doing these reviews. We've been doing them since 2015, and we've done them around the country and in a variety of contexts. The variety and depth of reviews that we've done give us that level of experience to really credibly and confidently come in and not lead, but coordinate an event review for the people in those jurisdictions so that they get the outcomes they want to see.